What's going on, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. In today's video, we're going to dive into some recent XRP news. So we had a little excitement yesterday on the daily chart for XRP. We can see wick to wick roughly 27%, actually taking us over 74 cents. So we'll touch on this chart more. I am primarily focused on the weekly chart. We'll be touching on this again, the big picture view of XRP if it were to follow the fractal and the same retracement levels that Bitcoin did last cycle. So Ripple, the company, put out 3 blogs highlighting the tokenized economy, navigating tokenization, and this recent one, the tokenized economy, unlocking liquidity. It's an amazing read if you have time, highly recommend it. I get frustration of XRP not taking out its previous 2018 high, and it has been literally years. So I get it, to each their own. We all have our own different opinions about different assets. Some might not want to hold any XRP, some are all in on XRP, and some hold a bag. I hold a bag because I strongly believe that XRP is here over the coming years. Just like I believe Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others that are legitimate are going to be here over the coming years. Ripple has over 900 employees and 15 offices, and keep in mind they were last valued at $15 billion. When we look at the Fortune 100 list of 2023 of the top companies, some of these valuations are in the hundreds of billions, if not even trillions. And all of the largest companies that we know today, Walmart, Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, or Google, they all embraced Web 2. And we're already in the phase with a variety of Fortune 500 companies experimenting with blockchain and launching applications. So looking at the Fortune 100 or Fortune 500, we're going to see some new kids on the block over the coming years. And it just takes a few dominoes to fall. I will tell you right now, every single company in this list will be leveraging blockchain in the future. Just like they all leverage cloud today, and 99% of Netflix exists because it exists on AWS. I remember when Netflix was pretty early, it wasn't the very beginning, but we used to order the DVDs by mail and then we'd have to send them back. And it's crazy because all the infrastructure that we leverage today essentially connects to the cloud. So when we see Apple, market cap 2.6 trillion. When we look at Nvidia, almost 2.3 trillion. And even other groups in the Fortune 100 like Morgan Stanley, 142 billion. And blockchain or DLT is going to augment this entire process. We have the entire crypto asset class, Bitcoin, Ether, stablecoins, you name it, at 2.59 trillion. So even Apple, at one point at $3 trillion in market cap, was the all-time high of the entire crypto asset class, a single company. We know there are other asset classes worth well over $100 trillion, like the global equities market or stocks, bonds, and real estate. And we're aware of the potential of the crypto asset class when you're considering the tokenization of real-world assets included in all these other asset classes. So the tokenization of everything. We touch on DPIN, we could talk on payments. And payments is one of the first use cases of crypto. It's easy to understand. We know this firm BCG projects that payments or cross-border flows are going to reach 250 trillion in the coming years. We even have this press release right here from 2 years ago. Digital payments in India projected to reach 10 trillion by 2026. So of course, I believe in insane potential for the crypto asset class, but there's almost no point of me saying 20 trillion, 50 trillion, or 100 trillion if it takes decades to get there. Right now, I just want to see the crypto asset class make it up and surpass 3 trillion, maybe 5 trillion, 8 trillion, part of the Fibonacci sequence. What's really cool about this chart is around this previous high by this wick, this was actually where the cycle low for the crypto market cap was. And if we zoom in, we can see I drew the Fibonacci retracement from the cycle high to the cycle low. And as we go up, we can see right around $10 trillion is close to the 4.236. And a $10 trillion market cap for the crypto asset class over the next 5 to 10 years would be insane. We know Ripple with their acquisition of Medico, they even say right here, the growing institutional crypto custody market expected to reach $10 trillion by 2030. We're going to see if some of these stats and estimates from these groups are accurate or if they're going to be way off. Now, the approval of the Bitcoin spot ETF in January is an absolutely huge deal, even bigger for altcoins in the future. I know Bitcoin has only just broken to all-time highs, but look at the net inflow. This was 3 days ago by CoinDesk. We can see spot ETFs are boasting $10 billion of assets under management with inflows reaching $1 billion in 1 day alone. And this guy Eric right here is Bloomberg's senior ETF analyst. He's an expert in the space. And beforehand, he estimated the ETFs would see an upper band of inflows of 10 to 15 billion. And we're already at $10 billion in net inflow to the Bitcoin spot ETF in really just over a month. And I know in a previous video I read the quote in the article, but he said if the ETFs were to continue at this current pace, it would be around 150 billion of inflows over the year, which would be tenfold of what he predicts the upper band at 15 billion, which would be crazy. So we're going to see what the future holds, but I want to emphasize the future for other alts, XRP, Ethereum, Solana, other top assets, and then more. If $10 billion already flowed into Bitcoin from this news, imagine what would happen to Ethereum or even XRP if they got these spot ETFs. And I personally believe that both get a spot ETF in the future. I don't care what type of scare tactics the media does, or delays, or initial denials, they will be approved in the future. XRP, Ethereum, a variety of digital assets already have ETPs or exchange-traded products in other countries. As we can see here, super creepy number with AUM, by the way. So maybe not all 10 billion or potentially a lot more flows right to Ethereum if it gets the approval next, but what we can say is Ethereum is 3 times smaller than Bitcoin, so $1 billion or $4 billion is a lot more powerful for ETH based on its current market cap. So Ethereum is roughly 3 times smaller than Bitcoin. The thing is about XRP ranked number 6 today, $37 billion market cap. This is over 12 times smaller than even Ethereum. So I can't emphasize enough the potential for spot ETFs for some of these alts. Just like we always share with the Bitcoin price chart, here's the total crypto market cap. These markets move in cycles. It's a multi-year bear market, pump dump, or just accumulating at the lows. Huge bull run, everybody believes in it again at all-time highs, then rinse and repeat. After several years of being at lows or crashing in bad news, there are so many people that don't believe in crypto, and that's the way it works. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Web 2 had different bubbles, the dot-com bubble. It was not simple. But we are witnessing a massive tech shift. If you're looking at a single asset and saying, oh, well, it was this price 3 years ago, it hasn't moved, you don't understand the cycles. We've shown this before as Amazon as an example. I understand this is one of the world's largest companies, but we can see. Back in 1999, we crashed 95%. We did not create another all-time price for 3,591 days. From 1999 all the way until 2009, 10 years. And guess what? When it started breaking into all-time highs, a lot more people were comfortable adding it to their portfolio. And huge props to the people that took the risk and held some Amazon long-term. Now, right from the start, Amazon had an amazing idea, selling online, starting with books. As they grew, they expanded into other verticals. I remember as a kid in 1999 or 2000, 2001, my mom was ordering off Amazon for Christmas. And I remember her telling me when we're talking to relatives like my aunt or like one of my friend's moms, that they were never ordering anything off Amazon in the early days because they were worried about it. They didn't trust shipping a product when you can just go to a store in person. They didn't understand the actual convenience. But more people started doing it. Other technologies came along that actually augmented the ability that Amazon had. As Amazon made more money, they expanded into other verticals. Just like Ripple the company is expanding beyond liquidity, going towards tokenization, CBDC infrastructure, more than payments, also focused on custody and compliance. And I'm not saying that Ripple the company is guaranteed to be the Amazon of payments, but they are setting themselves up in a very similar way. Especially as these technologies improve, enterprises are serializing and starting to digitize their information, which will help supply chain use cases grow. We have generative AI also helping. So there's a bunch of reasons why I still hold XRP, because I see them developing, I see them in similar structures, and I'm also just willing to wait a very long time. XRP is one of the top assets that I hold in my portfolio because it's right for me. I believe in the potential of payments. I believe in getting rid of this legacy infrastructure that's been around 70 plus years and the SEC still using laws to classify a brand new asset class. And I believe in the XRP ledger, especially for payments. It's had over a 10-year track record, no downtime. Yes, it's not like Ethereum when it comes to smart contracts, but payments are still incredibly useful, especially when there is still an error rate for Swift. In Swift, and standards like ISO 222 are messaging, that's not the settlement layer. So we ask ourselves, knowing it has been a long time since the 2018 high, we've yet to even break into new highs. Does it mean that XRP will never create an all-time price, or are things just taking a very long time? Anybody holding XRP, just like there's some early Bitcoin holders from even 2013 to even early 2017. It was under a penny, and even today it's still up over 100x. Now, if you had your average entry price over $1 and you haven't DCA'd whatsoever, that's not great. But even 20 or say like 30 cents, you are still up. Although it's not the greatest, you're still up. So we have Bitcoin on the right and XRP on the left, both on the 3-week time frame. We have similarities in these structures. Bitcoin years ago, double bottom. XRP years ago, double bottom. Big bull run for Bitcoin. Big bull run for XRP. For Bitcoin, last cycle we crashed, retraced up to the 50%, potentially even higher to the 618, and then did one more crash into reaccumulation at the 0.059 before finding our bottom. After this moment, we headed to an all-time price. This was timed with the Bitcoin halving in May of 2020, liquidity growing, all types of narratives to consider, but we still headed to an all-time price, doing a double top at the 3618, bouncing between the 1618. So this might seem super stupid, but this is something on my radar with the big picture view. This is not the 4-hour chart. XRP with fibs, wick to wick, we got the retracement up to the 50%, crashed back down, multiple wicks finding its bottom at the 0.059, just like Bitcoin in March 2020. You'll notice that both of these are on the 3-week chart, but XRP's is drawing significantly longer than what Bitcoin did back here. So this is something I would love to see XRP follow into an all-time price. Now if we move these fibs, instead of using wick to wick, let's go candle body exactly, so swing high candle body, and then we're going to go swing low right on that candle body. It's still the same retracement. If anything, it's even perfect because we got that retracement up to the 702. And just like previously, reaching the 0.059 when you're using candle bodies, we have multiple wicks on the 0.059. So I find that interesting, and that is something I consider. Even deleting this Fibonacci retracement, we can see the fair value gap. That's exactly where we filled with weekly candle bodies last cycle. I know XRP has open liquidity gaps between 20 to 30 cents. We also have open liquidity gaps above at $1.59. In big picture, I'm hopeful for XRP. I'll get a lot more excited when we fill this $1.10 fair value gap or the sell side imbalance. So we have the $1.10 fair value gap. We have the $1.59 liquidity gap. We have the 702 at $2.30, and then break that, then I'll entertain all-time highs. And if we rhymed with that previous fractal that Bitcoin did last cycle, it would be up here. Let's move this down to the weekly candle bodies for the fibs, swing high and swing low, and see if there's any other differences. Using the weekly candle bodies, we can see it's right around the 4.236 at the top of that range. And as for the XRP price chart, just like most charts, if it trends sideways and crashes, there's going to be a lot more bearish calls. People are going to be looking at lower levels. If we see XRP go up to $1 or even $2, you're going to see different accounts saying XRP is going to $250. And hey, to each their own, I would be a super happy camper. I might not have much XRP at that time if we hit a moon target, but I have used the escrow feature with the XRP ledger that will be releasing me some XRP over the coming years. I know there are concerns about XRP never having backtested previous wicks down to 7 cents. Absolutely anything is possible, but keep in mind, Bitcoin also never backtested these levels. And same thing for Ethereum, we have a huge weekly fair value gap or this buy side imbalance at around 250 bucks. I don't know if this ever fills. This fair value gap didn't matter at all last cycle. The bull run was beginning and Ethereum launched into an all-time high price. So we can see Ethereum has wicked above the 786 Fibonacci retracement from last cycle's high. And looking solely at XRP's last cycle high and just drawing a quick fib, wick, all the way to wick, we're dead on the 236 today. Ethereum is up to the 786. That would be $1.60. Remember, we have the open liquidity gap at $1.59 for XRP. So Ethereum is up here, and then Bitcoin obviously at an all-time high price. And today we have some other alts already up here, potentially even higher. Next up on XRP scan, if you go to the amendments up here in this tab, you can see all the amendments. We can see the AMM has surpassed the threshold with 91% consensus. There are a bunch of great people to follow on X for some great information like Wrath Economan, Panos, and many others. I'll definitely be participating in the AMM. I'm not going to use a bunch of XRP. I think it's super important for everybody right now to do your own due diligence and fully understand liquidity pools and permanent loss and understand what that means. And there are cases where you can get some great yield, but I just don't want to sell a bunch of XRP or at least half of it to put in the AMM. I'll be providing some liquidity, and if everybody provides some liquidity, that would be a huge deal. But if XRP goes up in price dramatically, I'm better off just holding my XRP. Potentially, and there are a lot of variables, so I encourage everybody to do your own research. I know many people are already super well versed with this. We'll talk more about this in the future. I plan to use it and also cover it on YouTube. There are a bunch of things going on. I get if somebody's not interested in XRP at all, but I'm continuing to hold it. I believe that this asset class is going much higher, and I believe that XRP is going to be staying in the top 10, and that's just my opinion. We'll cover a lot more in future videos, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and huge thank you to all that hit the like button and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.